Muller is a packaging machine maker headquartered in St. Louis in the United States, but a global manufacturing company with 1.7 billion US dollar annual turnover. Marquip Ward United is one of the largest divisions of Muller, and we have 5 manufacturing locations throughout the world. Wisconsin, Baltimore in the United States, Budapest in Hungary, we've got a UK operation, and we recently acquired a plant in Italy near Milan. In addition to that, we have several hundred engineers, design engineers, based in Chennai who handle all aspects of our design and also procurement. And after having had the operation in over 20 years in Chennai, I can say that every single one of our products has an Indian touch because the Indian team in Chennai has had some influence over the design. How does this, you're going to have to help me with this. What? I have to, can I, how about on the computer? How about like that? One of the things that ML challenged me to talk about was how can we get better print quality and have better box and better packaging. And so I thought to myself, how can we make a perfect box? Well, you know, perfection is sort of a spiritual thing. It's a thing that exists in the human mind, but in the reality of industrial production, it's really sort of a statistical phenomenon. What does perfection mean? You know, is it one box fails in 1,000? Does it mean that it has, who was it yesterday who said, does it delight our customer? Is it something that will create a display so that mom, when she goes shopping, will immediately grab the product and put it in her shopping wagon? What is perfection? What does it mean? Typically, as industrialists, we look at many different parameters, but I think one of the good ones, of course, is always the top to bottom compression of the finished box. And because that's where the proof is in the pudding. And I heard various discussions just before our turn came talking about semi-automatic versus automatic and so on, and paper quality and paper standards. I would say if you want to produce a better box, look at converting machines that will help condition the paper. Look at converting machines that won't crush the board in the corrugation process. If you have those, if you have the right tools, you can truly produce a better box. I had a question, and I'll pose it and let the semi-automatic fellow stew on this, and we'll get a cocktail later and talk about it. My question is, how much starch or PVA in grams per square meter are you putting on the paper before you put the liner together? We'll go to that. One of the things is we look at top to bottom compression to say a clearly measurable, definable, quantifiable parameter. We'll see if we look at a statistically significant sample of boxes, you'll see a Gaussian distribution, you know, the bell-shaped curve. And at the average in the center, we're worried about the deviation. And what you'll find with the so-called Indian automatic corrugator, where it doesn't have something called continuous run, it's automatic, and that the single facer and the double backer are in line with each other, you get an improvement, but you have to stop for various process changes during the course of operation. Speed changes on the corrugator cause changes in the performance of the packaging material. And it's quite simple. The physics are steam and starch can't follow and change appropriately with the change in the speed of the corrugator. So one of the things that we can do right away, and I've had an opportunity to visit several of your plants and have several contacts and relationships and had a chance to study some of the corrugators. Clearly, if you could take the automatic corrugator and run it at one speed, doesn't matter if it's 100 or 200, and we can talk about paper quality and runnability on the corrugator, again, perhaps later as another topic. And perhaps another topic yet again is to talk about something called engineered packaging. But right now, what I see as a first step on the automatic corrugator is run one speed. Set it up so you run, I don't care if it's 40 meters a minute, 80, 150, 400, but run one speed. And what this will do, this will reduce the variation or the deviation from your average in your bell-shaped curve. And it means now, once you have control of that process, you can start to ask yourself and your customer the question, should we move this curve? Should we move the average to a higher performance position? And we can look at things like reducing the grammage, reducing the starch, reducing the energy in the engineered package process. But first you have to get control of that process. Consistent quality requires constant run speeds. You know, we can talk and complain about the paper specifications till the end of time. You know, if you're an integrated company, well, and you're a box maker, well, the independents always get the good paper. If you're an independent, well, it's always the integrateds that get the good stuff. And this battle goes on, and there's no end to it. You can work with your paper supplier, but the capital investments required to make significant changes at the mill are so great that you probably won't get a breakthrough. So it is what it is, and run with it. We have corrugators running today at speeds of 400 meters per minute with paper tensile strengths of less than 2.5 kilo per centimeter. Okay, 2.5 kilo. And that would equate to something called Wellenstoff in Germany at about 70 grams, or some of the Chinese paper that has almost as dual purpose as newsprint. There are things you can do in the manufacturing process or the conversion process that will make runnable even the most challenging papers. So rather than complain, move forward, let's work with it. Your production team, you know, as you increase production, you make a great leap forward. You look at your business and you say, gee, I'm producing 1 million meters square per month today, and I want to go to 2 or 3. Big change. You can't do that out of a shoebox anymore. You have to change the way you think about things. System control. Again, you know, back to, you know, it's all about the bell-shaped curve and controlling your process. And the continuous run corrugator. And of course, that's where we come in as a machine supplier. And the continuous run corrugator, I would say, is almost a prerequisite to looking at modern converting equipment. If you have a handmade sheet, it's very difficult to control the dimensions of that sheet, and you end up taking larger trims in the conversion process, which mean more waste and more money. So if you have a machine-made sheet from a continuous run corrugator that has a consistent ECT, a consistent ring, pin adhesion, and the moisture content of the board off the corrugator is consistent, then you can talk about high-speed automatic finishing machines. So really, corrugated board is the key to the better box or perfect box. Continuous run, you have to have at least a double backer splicer. You need a direct drive cutoff knife, and you need an automatic slitter score. This is one of our 250 plus installations. This is up in Shanghai. We installed this a couple of years ago. It's running a nominal speed of around 200 to 210 meters per minute, and it runs at one speed. This machine is set up in a very challenging short order market to run orders as short as 6 seconds of production time. 6 seconds, 30, 40 meters long. And it can do that all day long. This is critical. To have this type of tool will also allow you to have a much wider decal. And again, that's because the slitter score need not wait. You need not slow down the corrugator to wait for the slitter score. And again, this yields efficient converting. If you have corrugated board, coming from a continuous run corrugator, and again, an automatic corrugator, as we call it in India, can be upgraded for very minimal investment to continuous run. You can produce like this. This machine is actually producing in excess of 30,000 boxes, folded and glued boxes per hour. They're running double up and going through something called a twin box. And I think that was a Signote strapper, by the way. And again, what are we trying to achieve? How are we going to go forward? How will we, one of the things that's very clear, based upon Carl's data, and anecdotally for anyone who goes into a consumer country shop, if you go to, pick one, Saturn in Germany, or Carrefour in France, or Walmart in the United States, high-value Indian manufactured products are displacing Chinese products. This is happening. It's going on. And these fellows, the Samsungs and the Philips and so on, they will want a higher quality box. They need a higher quality box, and I'm sure they're asking you for that every day. And it's up to you to take the initiative to take the big step forward. We can help you. You're the warriors slaying the market dragon. We're the machine supplier acting as the swordsmith, giving you the tools to do so. But again, I think ML's words ring so true. There's no reason to be afraid of the future. You have every opportunity. If I would love to be 20 years younger and living in Hyderabad or Mumbai or Chennai or Delhi, this is where it's going to happen. It's the next big thing. Thanks very much for having me.